Hello and welcome to IndiaPostLive.com, India's first live and interactive news conversation web TV. I'm Prachi Jatanya. Just a day after taking over office, the PMO, Dr. Jitendra Singh, the PMO's office, his person in charge there, has actually stirred up a hornet's nest and sparked a controversy after making a statement about a possible revocation of Article 370 that directly affects Jammu and Kashmir. What this has done has actually stirred up an online debate as well as a debate across the country among academics and across people who know about the constitution and people who are part of Jammu and Kashmir. We'll find out more details. Just take a look.
Just a day into office and the Modi government fired its first controversial salvo. Modi's junior at Prime Minister's office, Dr. Jitendra Singh, went public with his thoughts that Article 370 should be open to debate. Article 370 of India's constitution grants special autonomous status to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Even though the Modi government maintained a safe distance from Dr. Jitendra Singh's statements, the opposition was quick to slam them, especially Omar Abdullah, the Jammu and Kashmir Chief Minister, who was vociferous on Twitter. So is this just political posturing by Modi or testing the waters before implementing the RSS agenda?
And to give us more perspective and what kind of impact will it have if at all this article is revoked, and can it really be revoked? It has stirred up a debate. To give us more insight on this, we have in the studio Dr. Ejaz Ilmi, who is a national member of the BJP, and also senior journalist Ms. Asha Khosa, to tell us more about it. Dr. Ejaz, thank you so much for coming to the conversation on India Post Live. Your first thoughts about this controversial statement by Dr. Jitendra Singh?
I think any issue, especially something like Article 370, if it can be discussed, deliberated, and we can have a discourse on the benefits and the pros and cons, and whether it's served the people of the average citizens of Jammu and Kashmir, I think a dialogue, a discussion on the benefits or otherwise, it's a laudable exercise. And I don't think, where is the storm? Is the storm in the teacup? And why is Mr. Omar Abdullah protesting so much? Primarily, Mr. Omar Abdullah has a lot of reasons to feel dejected, because his party has been rejected and ejected by the Kashmiri citizens in the recent elections. So it's very clear, and he can't continue to use secularism and the bogey of secularism to deny or seclude the average Kashmiris from the benefits that should rightfully be theirs.
I'll bring in Ms. Asha, who's also, worked for a long time in Kashmir and knows a lot about this particular issue. Ms. Asha, don't you then feel that it's a symbolic agenda, part of the bigger plan for the BJP then to have this kind of a debate on Article 370?
Yes, Prachi, it is a very core issue for the BJP. If I may say so, this issue, removal of Article 370, it is as important for BJP as construction of a Ram Mandir. So it's called the core issue of BJP's Hindutva scheme of things. So they have always been saying that we will implement all these things, our core agenda, when we have an absolute and clear majority. And mind you, today they have an absolute majority. To the level we can say they have a brute majority. Opposition is disseminated, and they can, theoretically, they can do it. They can repeal this article if they want to. But is it so easy? And may I say so to what Dr. Ejaz Ilmi was saying, it is not just a small thing. It's something, if you go by the rationale, it may be easy to remove. It may not be easy to remove. But whenever you talk of Article 370, there is something which happens in J&K. Suddenly, all the NKs are up. Certainly. Yes. Everybody starts fearing, and some people start cheering, Some people will say, oh, is it attack on my freedom? Is my identity being will it be crushed if Article 370 is removed? But some people will say, oh no, I'm going to be an actual part of India, 100% part of India if this is removed. So it kind of triggers a variety of reactions in Jammu and Kashmir, and politicians can play on it. This subject probably cannot be discussed with rationality. It has to be discussed in the context of the emotions that are involved in it, and also the political exposition of those emotions. That is why this really triggers a big storm every time somebody speaks of it.
Dr. Ilmi, but why now? Why do you think that it is so important to bring this up for open debate now?
You know, even in the election campaign, Mr. Narendra Modi, when he addressed the Mammoth rally in Jammu, at that time also he raised this issue and he spoke about betterment of the Kashmiri citizens. Now, let me just go back. What Atal Bihari Vajpayee, when he went there, nobody went there for 14 years and Vajpayee was the first Prime Minister to go there. He talked about Insaniyat, Jamhuriyat and Kashmiriyat. Humanity, democracy and Kashmiriyat. Now the key word is Kashmiriyat. Unfortunately, there are forces in the valley and otherwise who want to show Kashmiriyat as a separate identity. Kashmiriyat can't be just Sufism, can't be chinar trees, can't be culture. Kashmiriyat also means mainstream, growth, employment. You have jobless people wanting employment. You have a mass migration of young Kashmiris going to other parts of India, seeking jobs and seeking education and seeking employment. It's not a very easy situation to be in. And the problem with this is that nobody wants to invest in Kashmir, nobody wants to set up industries, no manufacturing. I mean, it's a special state with special people, but unfortunately, the ordinary Kashmiri is the one who suffers.
Right.
And it's time to look at the plight of ordinary Kashmiris. If this can put the spotlight back on the average Kashmiris and not the special people who run Kashmir, who are very vociferous and frustrated and dejected now, let's talk about the ordinary Kashmiris.
Right. An interesting point there. I also have Mr. Imran Ali joining us via Google Hangout. He's an advocate at the Delhi High Court. Thank you so much, Mr. Imran, for joining us at the conversation on India Post Live. Your first thoughts and what are your views on the possible debate about Article 370?
First of all, I would like to say that this article cannot be revoked unilaterally until unless Constitutional Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir says they want to revoke it. Yes. That's the provision itself in 370 clause 3, yes, which says the President of India can seize this article to operate in Jammu and Kashmir, but provided once Jammu and Kashmir Constitutional Assembly is asking for it. So you cannot do it unilaterally. That's what the itself is in 370 clause 3. This is the one thing. Second thing which I want to ask Dr. Ijaz Ilmi Saab, the thing is, what kind of benefit you feel that Kashmiris will get after you revoke 370? What is there which is not now, it's not there, and it will come after 370?
Yeah.
So my question to Dr. Ilmi is, what kind of benefits they don't enjoy and they will enjoy after 370 revocation?
Right.
But it's very clear that you can't revoke it, though you're having 545 MPs in your favor.
No, I'm agreeing with what you're saying, that it can't be revoked so easily. I'm not talking about or advocating revoking or abrogation. What I'm saying is what the minister has said and what the BJP has said, that there should be a discourse.
No, Dr. Ilmi, the debate is whether 370 should be revoked or not. So my question is, please don't propagate this falsehood that you can do it. You can't do it.
Okay.
Nobody can do it until unless Assembly of Jammu.
I will have to interrupt. I apologize. We have a very special guest, Mr. Imran. Hold to your thoughts. Hold your thought there. We have Mr. Taj Mohiuddin, who is a former Congress minister from Jammu and Kashmir, joining us on the phone line. Mr. Taj, thank you so much for joining us. If you can hear me.
Yes, I hear you loud and clear.
Okay. So go ahead. What are your first thoughts? Is it possible to have any kind of repealing of the Article 370 and what kind of impact will it have? Has it stirred up a controversy?
I don't understand why they are after the Article 370. Article 370 is the bridge between the center and the state. And if you go by the Article 370, if you read it, it says that the state will be governed according to the instrument of taxation. And this is the only article which joins the state and the center. If you remove this, Jammu and Kashmir state was the only state which had not merged, which had exceeded. That is why there is a clause in it that the state will be governed by the article of this instrument of taxation. If you remove this, There is no bond left between the center and the state.
Right. Mr. Mohiuddin, we have two panelists in our studio who want to exchange their views and ask a question to you. Asha, please go ahead.
Taj Saab, I just wanted to ask you, isn't it a fact that this article has been diluted to a great level? If dilution doesn't create a problem, why should its removal, even though if you're saying it cannot be done, hypothetically speaking, why should the removal create a problem? I'm asking you this question.
If you remove this article, there will be complete chaos, and I fear that you will lose at least the Kashmir part of it. Because the people have the sentimental value with the Article 370, and they think that this is the only article which is a bridge between the state and the center. And nobody has done this for me. I don't know why BJP government is so much interested in doing it.
We have Mr. Ilmi, Dr. Ilmi, yes.
What I would like to say is that when you talk about a bridge between India and Jammu and Kashmir or the valley, I think we don't need a bridge. Jammu and Kashmir is a part of India. It's an integral part of India. So there's no question of a bridge. It's a continuous territory and it's a part of one of the integral part of India as a state. And if there's any bridge, I don't think a bridge should be there in the first place. Yes, the hearts and what the aspirations, the wishes of Kashmiri people are the most important sentiment that should take us forward in this dialogue and discussion. Right now, people are talking about putting a focus and spotlight back on Jammu and Kashmir, their inherent problems and the kind of lifestyle that they're leading, and the fact is a section of population which doesn't have jobs and employment are easy for the Hurriyat and for the secessionists to attract them. These are the issues. It's a holistic thing, and Kashmir has to be looked at in a very holistic manner. We should not feel shy from debating any aspect. Is it beneficial? Has it benefited the people? These are important aspects. Why can't we have a debate with all the stakeholders and everybody else? But just to be emotional about it and say it's a bridge. I'm sorry, there's no bridge. It's an integral part. Jammu Kashmir is an integral part.
Now, can I reply?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, please,
Can
Taj
I
Saab.
reply?
Taj Saab, please go ahead.
If we are, I don't know in what paradise we are living. You have to go through this Article 370 and then decide. It is not my sentiments or other things which are involved. This is loud and clear written in the Article 370 that the state will be bound as per instrument of annexation. So my saying that it is integral part of India, my saying that this is not the bridge, will not matter at all.
Taj Saab, do you feel then that what kind of reactions would it generate from people of Jammu and Kashmir if at all there's a debate?
Violent. These will be there.
Taj Saab, if I may ask you, yesterday Dr. Jitendra Singh said that BJP has got a 50% mandate and 50% goes to the other people. So if BJP has 50% mandate, don't you think those 50% will be with BJP in this issue?
I don't know what they do in Parliament. I can say about the people of Kashmir, their aspirations, their expectations. And I think it will be wise part that leave us alone as it is and don't fiddle with the Article 370.
Taj Saab, don't you then feel that that Kashmir has lost out? Like Dr. Ejaz has also pointed out, Kashmir has lost out. The youth of Kashmir are frustrated. They don't get enough employment. There are something, there's a special status to Jammu and Kashmir. It really doesn't make the state special.
No, it is not like this that there is unemployment only in Kashmir. The unemployment is everywhere. Throughout the country, the unemployment is there. You can't tell us that we'll give you the employment. How can you give us the employment? There will be centrally sponsored schemes that we are part of it and we can take employment anywhere. Even if Article 370 is there, nobody stops us from doing it.
Right.
Well, you can't set up industry, you can't have big mega investment, you can't have mega projects in the private sector like other states
You can't
enjoy.
purchase land
You can't
there.
purchase land, which is a primary requirement for setting up an industry which can provide jobs to the local youth who are skilled and who are very aspirational as the rest of Indian citizens who want to go ahead. This entire mandate of rejecting the National Conference and the Congress Party in the entire state of Jammu Kashmir was a cry, a desire for reaching out with mainstream India and being a part of the employment generating exercise that people have been promised. It's very important to understand that we are aspiring to move ahead and everybody else in Kashmir also aspires to move ahead. If you want to be trapped to the past, let's discuss and debate it, and whatever is in the best interest of Kashmir and India, that should be done.
Who stops you from debating? We are already debating. Number one. Number two is that we are a landlocked state. At least the Jammu provinces, Kashmir provinces, landlocked. Once the railway is through, the accession will be complete. How does it matter for you? Why BJP wants to make it an issue?
No, it just puts
It has to be a natural accession.
Right.
It's an accession of hearts, what he's referring to. There should be accession of hearts,
Right.
not of technical territory.
Okay, Taj Saab, thank you so much for joining us on IndiaPostLive.com, and we appreciate your views and participation. Thank you so much. That was Taj Mohyuddin, senior Congress leader and former minister, joining us from Srinagar live on the phone. I'll also bring in Sanjeev Jasrotia, who actually hails from Jammu. He's a senior journalist as well with the Statesman newspaper. Thank you, Mr. Sanjeev, for joining us.
Yeah, hello.
Yes, Mr. Sanjeev, if you can hear us, what are your views on the possible debate and an eventual revocation of Article 370?
I'm just trying to find out a very basic question regarding the 370. The 370, the central government has talked about that we are going to abolish the 370 article, but it is a state prerogative. Unless the state assembly not recommend this issue to the central government is not in a position to remove the 370. My question is simple. Don't you think that this central government come out with this proposal, they give another chance to the separatists of Kashmiri to legitimize their position, particularly in the Kashmiri Muslims, because they once again come out with a new issue, because they are annihilating because separatists are nowhere in the picture from last 2-3 years in Jammu and Kashmir. But after this issue, do you think that the separatists and the conference will regain its position by come out with this issue and show that their Muslim friends that my question is to the panel. I don't want to answer the question.
Were you able to understand?
I was able to understand what he's trying to say is that the separatist forces, the forces of secession like the Hurriyat, might get energized and reignited to pander to communal sentiments. That's what he's trying to talk about. But let me just say on the flip side, the biggest question out here is wanting to get ahead, aspiration to live a better life, and that I think will prevail over the emotional parochial sentiments that the Hurriyat is always doing. The Hurriyat should actually contest elections and get democratically into the system and be elected and then to represent. But just raising the bogey of parochialism and chauvinistic statements and trying to prey on ill sentiments or otherwise, that is something that I'm sure that the Kashmiris themselves understand. They've seen through the Hurriyat's game plan time and again. I hope better sense prevails, and only a discussion or a deliberation should lead to getting the spotlight on Kashmir, onto their particular issues, and hoping that Kashmir can progress with the rest of India.
Asha?
Yeah, Sanjeev, I wanted to tell you something. It's not only Hurriyat which will find a issue to play with people's sentiment because of this, what BJP has said yesterday. Even the National Conference, which is dead and down right now, they fared very badly in the elections. They have suddenly got a lifeline, They are suddenly raking up this issue. I'm told that even PDP Chief Mahbooba Mufti is going to speak to the press today on this issue in Srinagar about 3:30 or so. So, and we all know that assembly elections are due in the state in this October. So it is going to be a big issue. It's BJP has given them big cannon fodder to revive their party.
Revive it as a political issue.
Yes,
right.
Particularly to national conference.
You can please carry on.
Imran Ali, constitutionally, you've been trying to say constitutionally and legally it is impossible, and they will need a lot of backing in a majority in the parliament to amend the constitution.
I'm saying even if you have full parliament, you cannot revoke it unilaterally. It should be asked by
he's correct.
the Constitutional Assembly of the Jammu and Kashmir.
Exactly.
Union of India can do it, one thing. Second thing is, which I want to ask both the panelists, if you believe that it should be revoked, you please tell me why it should be revoked. What is there in 317 Constitution which stops you to do development in Kashmir, to provide jobs, to provide education, to provide employment? What is there in the section of 370 article which says that you cannot do it? Kashmir is an integral part of India. Be there with 370, but it's integral part. Nothing has stopped you to do it. Every law of India is enacted in Kashmir through assembly. There is nothing which has stopped you. And why there is a need to debate on 370? In last 60 years, you could not do any effort that people of Kashmir should have come to you and saying that, oh, you take care of us so much and we don't want 370, please repeal it. We want to march into India. But you are saying, no, we will do it unilaterally. You can't do it. First thing. Second thing is, you can't create an atmosphere that people of Kashmir should have come to you and saying that please remove this temporary provision. Now we want to be in India. In 60 years, you could not do it. And there is nothing which stops you to do development, employment, job or anything in Kashmir. Kashmir is part of India. And now you want to create a debate because it's an election issue. You will get mileage. You will do whatever you want to do. But please don't tell people that you can do it.
Asha has a point. In fact, she was telling us who Dr. Jitendra Singh is and why should we take this statement so seriously. Was it really an intentional idea by the BJP to make him say this kind of statement that has stirred up the debate? Asha.
Actually, yes. To add to what Imran was saying, I cannot answer your question, but I can explain why this is happening. To my understanding, the BJP is pretty serious about this issue. I don't know whether they'll be able to do it, but there is a game plan they have for doing what they are trying to say. And Dr. Jitendra Singh, there were a lot of speculation. Who is this person? He's a political, not novice, but he's a new entrant to Parliament. He's a first-time MP. Suddenly, he has been given very important portfolio as a Minister of State in PMO. Mind you, when he's given this portfolio, nobody knew the significance of it. But now we know why he was given this portfolio, because being in the PMO, he can basically initiate some kind of track to discussion with the stakeholders in Kashmir. They have a definite game plan on this, on doing something about Article 370. That is my understanding, and that is also my information. Last night I spoke to a lot of people from BJP who are stakeholders in the entire issue, and they told me frankly, of course off the record, that abhi nahi to kabhi nahi. Right. They say we have brute majority in Parliament, and if we don't address this issue, which is important for us and which we think is important for the people of Jammu and Kashmir, we'll never be able to get it done. So that is the significance of what Dr. Jitendra Singh has been made to say yesterday, and then tactically withdraw for the time being. But let's be clear, they have a perfect game plan in place.
Dr. Ilmi.
There is no game plan. There is no game plan without taking care of the majority sentiments of the average Kashmiri citizens. You cannot do anything roughshod over people's aspirations. Sure. You need political legitimacy and accountability. Only then can you go ahead. My friend Imran Ali is correct. The state laws are such that you require Constitutional Assembly. Right now, discussion has happened. Don't forget, why is Mr. Omar Abdullah protesting so much? Because his political accountability has come out in the face of the mandate he's received. He has been rejected, therefore he's been ejected by the people. It's very important to understand that you have to understand there are three separate aspects to Jammu Kashmir. There's the Jammu region, the valley and Ladakh. So you have to take into account all three aspects into this, have a holistic view, discuss, deliberate, have a discourse, and then move ahead.
Very importantly, we'll put out that tweet that Omar Abdullah made last evening, immediately after Dr. Jitendra Singh's statement article. We'll put out the tweet graphics. Article 370 is the only constitutional link between J&K and the rest of India. So the new MOS PMO says the discussions to revoke Article 370 have started. Wow, that was a quick beginning. Not sure who's talking. Mark my words and save this tweet. Long after the Modi government is a distant memory, either J&K won't be a part of India or Article 370 will still exist. It is the only constitutional link between J&K and the rest of India, and the talk of this revocation is irresponsible. So you can see that it has definitely stirred up a big debate, and with assembly elections in Jammu and Kashmir just a few months away, definitely being used as a political platform. Dr. Ilmi, you...
Omar's bluff and bluster has been called in the recent elections. So I understand his ferocity and vociferousness in attacking the government and Mr. Modi and the PMO. That's understandable. But there are real serious issues behind the whole thing. Right now, it's a debate, it's a discussion, a dialogue. I think let's look at it as that. Let's step forward. There are stakeholders, and the entire nation can be involved in terms of who have interest in Jammu and Kashmir. Let's not shy away from talking about the average Kashmiri citizen, its plight, and look, let's be positive in our outlook.
Right, Dr. Imran Ali, Mr. Imran Ali, sorry, your final views. Do you feel that the youth in Kashmir or the Kashmiri Muslims would be interested in this kind of integration?
So they will be interested, but you cannot force them to integrate. You have to make the situation like this that they should come to you and they say we want to integrate. You can't impose something on them. Because you always say that you cannot decide what Kashmiri people want. Only Kashmiris can decide what they want. Like if I say India means like I being Indian, I can decide what I want. American cannot decide what I want.
You're right.
So similarly, the situation is the people those are living in Kashmir, even through the law and constitution, they have right what they want to decide. So please don't impose on them, don't force them. You want to do a debate, do it a fair debate, do it a healthy debate, and we are doing for last 60 years. I'm not stopping you. Debate is always a healthy platform for a democracy. But don't say that you can do it. You ask them what you want. Please ask them. Don't tell whole of India that you want to do it because we want to do it. No, you can't do it.
Right.
Anything, if you want to do good for them, please do good for them. Nothing is there which stops you to do anything good for Kashmiris.
Right. Mr. Sanjeev Jasrotia, your final views on this topic?
My questions to the panelists once again. As Mr. Jitendra Singh just said that the youth of the particular Jammu and Kashmir has been deprived from job and other things. My question to the panel is how this, after repealing this, this article, the youth of the Jammu and Kashmir will get benefit out of it. Can you explain it to us?
Right. I think Dr. Ilmi already addressed that question. Sanjeev, your personal views, if at all, do you believe that because you hail from Jammu, in your experience, what would be the reaction or impact if it is at all, hypothetically taking, if it is revoked, the Article 370?
I don't think so, we get much benefit out of it because this is not a special status which is given to us only the Jammu and Kashmir and other states. Under Article 371A, Gujarat and their other northeast states which are under special status. So my point is that if the government is repealing this article, the competition in the Jammu and Kashmir might be increased, and the chance of the job definitely reduce in Jammu and Kashmir because other students outside the states will definitely come and compete over there.
Right.
So I don't think that this solution, but maybe the government come up with a certain solutions which will, provide other, kind of things like development issues. Maybe because from now we are doing a good job in tourism, in other things. So we have other reasons to create a job in Jammu and Kashmir just instead of revoking this article. I don't think so that that will benefit to the youth, particularly as the minister told yesterday.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Sanjeev. One very quick word from Mr. Imran Ali. He is very passionate about this topic.
Because this is very important. Another thing which they propagate in terms of 370, they say that a woman who is marrying outside Kashmiri and marrying a non-Kashmiri, shall lose the rights in the property and shall lose the right in the Kashmir. But I want to tell you, in 2002 October, Jammu and Kashmir has given a verdict in state of Kashmir versus Dr. Shailesh Hanve that there is nothing now. It's like if you marry a non-Kashmiri, you doesn't lose your land rights. So this is one thing which always they portray, and they say no, and it's anti-women because if they marry outside Kashmir,
actually,
they lose their property rights. So it's not the scenario in 2002. Jammu and Kashmir upheld the right of a woman who is marrying outside Kashmir.
Right.
Actually, I just want, if I can intervene. Actually, this law was applicable. It was an interpretation of the law that a woman marrying outside her husband, she becomes a non-state subject, as they call the permanent residence of state. It was happening till a certain time. Actually, it was Supreme Court which gave a final verdict in an earlier case. So now, and under compulsion, the J&K government had to accept it. It was not the High Court. It is now. You're right. I'm just supplementing what you're saying.
It's not only Jammu and Kashmir. In Himachal also, in Uttaranchal also, other state people cannot buy land.
Right.
Or there is a limitation to buy a land.
Right.
Or there is a
That's
limitation
certainly,
because
yes,
land
yes.
is a subject of a state. So it's not because of 370. It's because of state land laws,
Okay.
which is everywhere in every state.
In J&K,
even in Jharkhand, you cannot buy a land from any tribal person.
Right.
You cannot buy a land which is
it is to protect the rights of
Right, Mr. Imran Ali, very, very interesting points made by you. One final word from Dr. Ejaz Ilmi before we try and wrap up the show, and we'll take it online.
I just want to agree with Imran on a whole lot of issues. I just want to add to what he said about the citizens who are at stake, the Kashmiris, and the sentiments that they have. That should be taken into account. That should drive this entire exercise, this debate, and wherever it leads to. But I would just like to add that for the last 65 years, the political accountability has been negligent, and it's a time to come, and citizens are actually, and the voters are showing their preference. My suggestion would be that if we can convert Srinagar and the valley into a place which is actually peaceful, and it has a lot of opportunities for everybody, there's great tourism. The people from Pakistan-occupied Kashmir should be looking at crossing the border and coming back. And if the Berlin Wall can go, I'm sure that India can reclaim what we have, what is occupied by Pakistan. That is the sentiment that I'm standing here with. Is just a discussion. The spotlight is on Kashmir and Kashmiri plight. So let's take it as it happens. You're correct. There are legal issues to be addressed, and there are a whole lot of situations. This debate will continue, but let's have to focus on the Kashmiri and its plight.
Right. Thank you. On that note, we'll take this discussion on our website and our Twitter handle @IndiaPostLive. A very engaging discussion at the conversation on India Post Live. Thank you so much to all our guests, Mr. Sanjeev Jasrotia, Taj Moinuddin, and Mr. Imran Ali for your views and thoughts and participating, and also Ms. Asha Khosa and Dr. Ejaz Ilmi for your insight on the entire debate that has been stirred up by the PMO statement and Dr. Jitendra Singh's statement. What really then can be done? Can there be a free and fair debate on Article 370 without involving too many emotions? Well, definitely the jury is out on that. We'll have to wait and watch what really Kashmiris and people of Jammu and Kashmir actually feel about this without politicizing the issue. Can that really happen? Please put in your comments and feedback on this topic on our website and our Twitter handle. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned.